Welcome to Capital City Paranormal-ish, where we delve into the exploration of creepy, strange, paranormal, and unexplainable TikToks that we all love to watch. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and strap in, and get ready to have your entire reality questioned. Hey, my freaky fam, how we doing this evening? Welcome to another edition of Capital City Paranormal-ish, where we delve into the exploration of creepy, paranormal, odd, unexplainable, all the TikToks that everybody loves to watch. So, if you're new to the channel, be sure to show the family the love. Join the family by hitting that subscribe button, because I noticed on our analytics that only 5% only of people watching the videos are subscribers. So come on, show the family the love and hit that subscribe button. Anyways, we got a good one set for tonight, so let's just get right to it.
Eba 1, who was kept in captivity in a deep underground base, was examined by the military's top experts. After several attempts to communicate with the being, a group of linguists and communication specialists were able to ascertain who the Ebans were and from where they came.
Ever since they landed in 47, there's a long story about how Eba was able to communicate. We initially didn't allow Eba to have any access to the equipment on the recovered craft from Krona. We wouldn't let him see it, we wouldn't let him touch it, we wouldn't let him go near it. It was an entirely different place. We did have what was later determined to be the energy device, and another device which we later determined to be the communications device. We did have that at Los Alamos because they were studying it. Los Alamos scientists thought the plexiglass-looking thing was just a window. They didn't realize it was an energy device.
Yeah, I don't know, fam. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing another documentary about them having Eba or whatever they had named it, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Think there's some validity to that, or do you think it's just false? I don't know what to think about it, but I don't know, there's a couple things that I seen on it in that documentary I can remember that were fairly convincing, and I know there's been more than one person come out and make the same claim, so I don't know, could be something there. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Here's the next one.
She said she was alien and came from Venus. She disappeared without a trace. The mysterious story of Dolores Barrios, the woman who said she came from Venus, disappeared one day and no one saw her again. Among all the phenomena that surround the supposed visits of extraterrestrials to planet Earth, one of the most striking events is what happened around a woman. Dolores Barrios, who visited a UFO convention in the United States with two companions in 1954. And then she disappeared without a trace. After the incident of the Roswell case, the woman claimed to have come from Venus, to share information with humanity. According to the records, everything happened in 1954, in Monte Palomar, California. The organizers of the event were ufologists of the time, George Adamski, Truman Betteram and Daniel Fry. There they talked about the supposed extraterrestrial contacts they had experienced. Dolores Barrios. Currently, the planet Venus is covered in dense clouds with a surface temperature of more than 450 degrees, enough to melt zinc, lead, and most organic materials. Venus is believed to be the hottest place in the solar system, except for the Sun itself. However, studies claim that it may once have been inhabited. And in fact, Dolores Barrios and her companions claim to come from there. The main organizers of this event were the popular ufologist, UFO specialists, George Adamski, Truman Betteram, and Daniel Fry. The three claimed that they had their own stories of contact with extraterrestrials. All their theories were highly discussed by the press at the time, but they summoned many followers. The UFO convention in California was attended by hundreds of people, including alleged alien contactees, FBI agents and various witnesses to alien spacecraft sightings. The 1954 UFO Congress where Dolores Barrios appeared. On the first day of the Congress, each of the organizers shared their experience. George Adamski, who was well known for her stories about links with humanoids from the planet Venus, took advantage of the situation to promote and sell her published books. In her speech at the Congress, Adamski said that the natives of the planet Venus were very similar to human beings. According to this specialist, the aliens had penetrated deeply into the Earth and managed to camouflage themselves, as citizens, in the large developed cities of the planet. Adamski showed a painted image of a Venusian humanoid that turned out to be very similar to the Scandinavians. And she said that they provided information to improve the lives of humans. When her audience was inspired by the stories, at the end of the first day of the Congress, everyone was struck by the appearance of a strange young woman accompanied by two other people. The woman looked very similar to the portrait of the Venusian shown by Adamski. She had blonde hair, large dark eyes that intimidated those present. According to other witnesses, there was something atypical in the structure of her skull that caught everyone's attention. They also asked her if aliens traveled to Earth from Venus, and the woman's answer was blunt. Yes, most of them come from that planet. So, a Brazilian journalist named João Martins, who came to the Congress from Rio de Janeiro, decided to go a step further and interview the three strangers. During the conversation, she learned that the woman's name was Dolores Barrios and she claimed to be a fashion designer from New York. The two men were her friends, Donald Moran and Bill Jackmart, who said they were musicians based in Manhattan Beach, California. Despite the names and professions given by the trio, Martins was as suspicious of Dolores as she was of Moran and Jackmart. The mysterious disappearance of Dolores Barrios in 1954. The next day, the Brazilian journalist again approached the trio of alleged aliens and took several photos of them, something they did not like. After the impromptu photo session, Dolores Barrios and her two companions left in the direction of the forest that surrounded the headquarters where the UFO Congress was taking place. From then on, no one else saw them. A few days later, in the same area, an amazing event happened. Several people saw a UFO taking off from the forest and getting lost in the sky. In October 1954, the entire story of the Congress, the supposed Venusians, and their strange escape was published by Martins in the Brazilian weekly, O Cruzeiro, which achieved very good sales. In addition, the organizer of the Congress, Adamski, did not like the spread of this story as she considered that this trio deliberately attended her event to pose as Venusians and damage her reputation as a specialist in extraterrestrial life. However, for years UFO researchers have tried to uncover the truth about Barrios, but neither in New York, nor in California, nor in any other state in the United States, they managed to find them. A friend of the journalist João Martins said that she saw her enter a cinema in Rio. Although most thought it was all a fraud, it was never confirmed who that woman interested in aliens really was.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, fam, because I think Venus is way too hot for anybody to live on, and it's been way too hot for a long, long, long time. So, I mean, how long ago did they come here, if that's the case? I don't know. I'm going to have to call Cap on this one, I think, fam. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Here's the next one.
This shit is getting weird. The Brazilian government just released all of their files on UFOs. It's all in Portuguese, so it's a little bit hard to go through, but there's 900 different photos of UFOs on there. People are hoping these are from the Caleres and Varginha cases, which were some of the most famous cases in Brazil. These are really convincing, especially since these were taken like 30 or 40 years ago, and we definitely didn't have technology like this back then. And the photos get even freakier because there are some over a lake right here where it looks like they're almost falling angels, like these black blobs just over this lake, and there are just so many witnesses to it as well. Brazil has one of the most UFO and alien sightings in the whole entire world, but you never know about it because it's not in the mainstream media. If you guys want to check out the report yourself, you're going to have to make an account on this Brazilian government website. Let me know what you guys think because this is actually crazy.
Dude, he just shot a freaking rocket at it. He just shot it. He just shot it. He just shot the missile at it and it's coming down. He just shot the missile.
They just shot it down.
They just shot it down, man.
Dude, we saw the rocket just get. Oh my, you can see the camera flying. He's like falling down. He's turning the sky like this.
Oh yeah, I'm probably going to say there's something to that one, because leave it to our governments to shoot first, ask questions later, for sure. I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking if there's higher intelligent life out there, that they're probably a little more peaceful and reserved than we are, because that would be more advanced anyways, in my opinion. Anyways, here's the next one.
Even in the Bible, it says they call them the Anak, the A-N-A-K, and they're calling these people megalithic giants. They say that these people are so big that we were grasshoppers in their eyesight. That's in the Bible. In ancient Egypt, they call them Ninitiru. They say that the gods who came from heaven to earth, same exact terminology, and turned mud into a kingdom. Now, when you look deeper into where these people came from, you start to go through a lot of various different texts, and you begin to realize it's not just one group of people that came from one planet. It appears to be a group of people that came from multiple planets, even multiple solar systems. According to the ancient text, not according to Billy Carson. You dig deeper into these, you start looking at the Enuma Elish and the seven tablets of creation from the Sumerian tales, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Epic of Atrahasis, the myth of Adapa, some of the other texts like the Indian texts like the Mahabharata, the Indian Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, and some of these other texts, you begin to realize, whoa, the stories are also linking up. And the thing between all these different stories all point to the same thing. Beings from somewhere else came to this planet and began to build a kingdom or a breakaway civilization on Earth.
Yeah, I definitely think they're here, for sure. Well, either that or they've been here and they're just showing up now. But anyways, I don't know. I think we're going to get a lot of disclosure this year, I think, from the Trump administration. I would imagine probably release a lot. Anyways, it should be interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Here's the next one.
In 1972, an unusual event was recorded when a spacecraft, identified by its distinct Pleiadian design, made an emergency landing just outside of a remote military base in the United States. The craft carried two beings, Ariwanas and her son Adrieusz, who were immediately taken into custody by military personnel under suspicion of espionage due to the secretive nature of their arrival. Ariwanas, appearing to be in her mid-30s but biologically aged between 78 to 100 years, was notably taller than the average human at 220 meters. Her son, Adrieusz, though physically resembling a child of 8 to 10 years, was actually 28 years old and possessed an IQ of 210, as assessed under controlled conditions. Their human-like appearance was marred only by subtle differences, slightly pointed ears, and strikingly large blue-gray eyes, which confirmed their extraterrestrial origin. The military, adhering to protocol, transported them to a secure, undisclosed facility for interrogation. Here, under strict surveillance, it was observed that Ariwanas and Adrieusz communicated telepathically, a method that baffled the scientists and military officials present. They spoke of their long-standing connection with Earth, mentioning their ability to navigate through dimensions, a technology far beyond human understanding at the time. However, when pressed for details regarding their mission, they remained silent, adhering to what could only be assumed as a code of conduct from their home world. After a 2-year period of detainment, during which no hostile actions were taken by the Pleiadians, they were unexpectedly released and permitted to return to their planet. This decision was influenced by internal discussions at high levels of government, though the specifics were kept confidential. The story took an intriguing turn when a long-serving U.S. military officer, with 28 years in service, came forward as a whistleblower. He disclosed that the U.S. government had been engaging in covert agreements with extraterrestrial races, known for their aggressive tendencies, trading advanced technology for permission to conduct experiments on human subjects. In stark contrast, peaceful entities like the Pleiadians, who promoted ideals of love, unity, and spiritual enlightenment, were not supported in their missions. This officer condemned the government's preference for conflict over cooperation, highlighting the moral implications of such dealings.
Yeah, as immoral as it may have been, not for our governments. They do whatever they want. Doesn't matter. I don't know. I think people walk around under the facade of freedom, but there's never been any freedom. It's been control right from the start. And they just change it up whenever they want by staging events, making things look a certain way. But really, it's all a bunch of bullshit. And that's just one man's opinion. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
I basically lost my whole family over this.
No way.
Yeah.
You came out of the closet?
No, no, no. No, Daddy.
No.
But yeah,
Tell me, what happened?
So 2010, I came home. I was working on this big project called Fort Terra Nova, which I built. And Fort Terra Nova was on the History Channel, a Countdown to Apocalypse, the Nostradamus episode. And anyway, so I was working on this project. I come home, I'm looking at ESPN, and I'm looking at sports. About 9 o'clock p.m. All the lights turn dim, the TV turns off, and I thought my kids were playing a trick on me because they lived up in the room behind me, up on the second floor. And I look up, and there's nobody there. When I turn around, there were these two beings right there.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And, whew. Man, hold on.
Whoa.
Sorry.
No.
Why do you have to break yourself, man?
No.
So they were right there. I'm sitting in a chair about this high, so they were right here in my eyes. And,
Yo, Alex is freaking out right now. This is wild. Okay.
All right, let me get myself together.
No, take your time.
So they were there. They had the big almond eyes like you see on TV. I swear they did.
So you're two beings in front of
But
you.
they didn't look like they were real eyes. They looked like coverings of some type. And they didn't communicate with me through any kind of telepathy that I could tell, but I felt like my brain was shaking in my skull to the point where it started hurting, and I started screaming, but no sound was coming out of my throat. I could feel the air coming out, but I couldn't hear it myself.
And you were awake during this period. You
I
weren't
was
taking
awake,
a nap or anything like that?
taking a nap, no psychedelics.
Of course, yeah.
And my whole house, everyone was in. My wife at the time, my ex-wife was in the bedroom right behind the next wall. My girls were in that side of the house, a split floor plan. My boys were in that side of the house. The house was full of people. Nobody heard us or anything. I was screaming. A few seconds later, it stops, and they turn around, and they don't walk like a person. They kind of dangle. So they kind of dangled away, and they went right through the wall. And then, boom, the TV comes back. The lights come back to normal color. That's when I went running around the house, and it was just traumatic for everybody, you know. And it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. There was other reasons why, but I ended up my one son, Giovanni. He's told me I'm scared to even come around you, and still to this day, he rarely ever calls me or comes around. It's kind of like I lost my son. I made no money off of this. I got no exposure off of this. That's why I kept it quiet for so long. Lost my family. Created a lot of dissension. I remember we were on the highway one day, and my wife was driving at the time, my ex-wife, and she slammed on the brakes, and it was like, just get out of the car, because the kids were scared, and I was like, I'm sticking to my story. I'm not changing my story because this really happened to me, and they just didn't want to hear it. But her parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, so everything was of the devil. And so it was a pretty traumatic experience. It took a long time to talk about. The only reason why I came out with that information was because I started running into a lot of people at conferences that would come up to me and tell me that they were having these experiences. They were horrified to talk about them. So I felt like if I would talk about it, I would give them strength for them to have expressed themselves and walk in their truth and believe in their experience that they had.
I don't know, fam. The way I see it is there's a lot of reports from a lot of different people from some fairly credible backgrounds. So I'm just going to say that there's definitely something to it. Definitely something. And hopefully we get to find out soon a little bit anyways, because whatever, they keep everything from us. But things are starting to move a little bit, I think. I think we're starting to find out a little bit of things. Anyways, let's move on.
The video I'm about to show you here in 10 seconds is from 2 or 3 nights ago, and I just haven't posted it because I wasn't sure what I was looking at. But this is an aircraft that I just watched and got on camera going straight upwards. It's coming towards us, then it goes up. And you can see it like shining its light at the ceiling of clouds above it, and then come through the clouds towards us again. Wild shit, man. This is crazy. Look at this.
Man, look at this. Look at this. What the hell? It's going up. Dude. It's going up into the clouds. That thing is rising. Look at the... What the fuck? That is rising straight up. Look at this. It's pointing light at the clouds above it. What the fucking hell? I'm sorry for the language. What? And now it's in the clouds. What the fuck? I just tried to zoom out. And now it's just gone. It's up there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And now it's coming forward. So it just rose straight up. And now it's going forward through the fucking clouds. That was insane. This is insane. I saw that, and now the light's off. And now it's lights off. What the hell did I just see?
Language. Boy, I don't know. It's gotta be like Will Smith. He don't have to cuss in his raps. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too. Just kidding, guys. Anyways, yeah, no, I don't know. Seems to be a lot of people getting a lot of things. So it's coming out more and more. Yeah, I don't know. Probably something there. No, definitely something there, but I just don't know how much of it is real and how much of it isn't, because there's a whole lot of bullshit out there too, like with AI and everything, and with whatever it's crap the government's up to, you never know. So I don't know, but definitely some of it's very interesting. Here's the next one.
This plane, in and of itself, the SR-71, proves that we're not on an oblate spheroid that spins. The Lockheed can fly at a max height of Mach 3 and flies at an insanely high altitude. Now, if the Lockheed can go over 2,000 miles an hour, how much curvature should it have to account for to stay at the same altitude? Top speed, again, is 2,200 miles an hour. Let's just say there's 2,200 miles between point A and B. That would be 570 miles of curvature between the 2 points of reference. That'd mean that the Lockheed would have to be dipping 9.5 miles a minute, or 836 feet a second. But let's see what NASA thinks about planes flying over Earth. Derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model. Model of a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. It's gotta be the only one, right? It's gotta be the only one. A mathematical model of a CH-53 helicopter. The helicopter equations of motion are given in a body axis with respect to a flat, non-rotating Earth? If this is the first time you're hearing this, then you heard it here first, you know what I'm saying? The sun actually goes around our flat Earth like this, clockwise. It acts as a spotlight shining down onto the flat Earth that we live on. It gets closer and farther away, causing seasons from the North Pole. On its most inner declination around the North Pole, that's when Alaska can see 24 hours. On its most outer declination, that's when the Northern Hemisphere experiences winter. This is the equator. This dark line here going in a circle, that's the equator. Everything north, which is towards the North Pole, and everything south of the equator is the South Hemisphere. This is the Northern Hemisphere. Water, like, needs a container, dude. And I'll tell you what's containing all of the quadrillions of gallons of water in our ocean. Antarctica. It's actually an ice wall that encompasses us 360 degrees. And there's an Antarctic treaty written and that says the 60th south latitude can't go past there. You'll die. sea level. Seriously. Think about it. All the water's level. It's all at the same level. But I plan on starting a podcast to expose all of this and plenty more. So check out my bio. Check out my link tree in my bio. Click on my profile. I'm being censored on my main page, so that's why you're seeing me here. I'm kind of doing a test. So, but seriously, follow my Instagram. Check out my link tree. Have a good night.
Wait, this Queen Elizabeth illusion is going to shock you. You gotta see this. Okay, so fix your eyes on a dot in the center. Hold focus for as long as you possibly can, and just keep focusing on that dot. And I promise by the end, you're going to see something that's just truly amazing. Do your very best and try not to blink. And let me know in the comments below what you saw and for how long it lasted. And like, follow, and share this with a friend. We're almost there. Just keep focusing on that dot. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at the ceiling and then keep blinking.
Yeah, I've decided, fam, I'm not on the fence anymore. I believe we live on a flat, non-rotating Earth. That's my opinion. Why would Lockheed Martin write that down in the specs like that? And why would that helicopter have it in the specs like that? You know, unless that's the way it was. And that illusion at the end there, that was crazy. What did you guys see? I seen the Queen, and it probably lasted about 15 seconds, something like that. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you've seen the same thing, but that was crazy. Anyways, we've reached the end of another one. Thank you for joining. Thank you for viewing. I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you. And just to let you know, we have broke the 100 mark on our subscribers, and we're on our way to 1,000, and then we're on our way to 10,000 from there. And I know we're going to do it because we're the Freaky Fam, and that's just the way we roll. So if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, show the family the love, join the Freaky Fam, be part of it, be part of the first 1,000, because after that we're going to have a draw where you're going to be eligible to win a $100 gift card. And with that being said, until the next one, my Freaky Fam, my favorite peeps, au revoir. Thank you for watching another edition of Capital City Paranormal-ish. We hope you enjoyed the video and its content. Please show the family the love and join the Freaky Fam by hitting that subscribe button. And with that being said, keep looking over your shoulders and stay safe. Until the next one, Freaky Fam, au revoir.